get it? You never fucking understand me. Can you?
It feels like we've seen this somewhere, right?
लैंग्वेज में बात किया ना तो एक कान के नीचे बजा के दूंगा.
क्या कहा तूने?
Movies and shows aren't just something we watch, they quietly become a part of our lives. The characters we root for, the relationships we admire, and the lives we see on screen start shaping our idea of what we think is desirable, normal, or even possible. Over the time, the line between fiction and reality kind of blurs. So the real question is, if these stories are shaping our emotions and beliefs so deeply, what are they really teaching us? How do you think TV shows and movies are affecting our self-esteem today?
What life looks like in movies and series does not match to what my life looks like, and I think this stands true to a lot of people out there as well, where we constantly compare ourselves to what we see on screen, like maybe our romantic relationships, maybe our family, maybe our friendships.
Movies like DDLJ, like Shah Rukh Khan getting beaten up for Kajol, yeah. People might expect such things out of other people. It's like you're creating this persona of a person, whether it's a guy or a girl, and you just love if they look a certain way and not any other way. I think those are the things that affect a lot of people, and I feel the latest generation most definitely.
So, for example, as I told you, talking about imitating somebody's relationship as being your own and things like that, obviously it changes because then you're living in a very non-real space of mind, and that does mess up with your self-esteem because you don't know who you really are.
Cinema has often had a powerful way of showing us dreams, whether it's the thrill of falling in love or the pain of heartbreak. These stories are usually beautifully crafted, full of emotion, fantasy, and perfect timing. So it makes you wonder, have you ever romanticized about something in movies that was toxic?
Yeah, definitely. Even for that matter, Kabir saying it was a toxic sort of relationship according to me, because she was not asked if she wants to be with him or not. He just said that I love you, and he called her his bandi and all of that, and she was like, okay.
In Indian movies in specific, there is two extremes that are coming to my mind right now. There is Dear Zindagi on one side, and then there's the movie of Animal on the other side, right? Now, both of them do give very different messages. There are people who argue saying that, Animal's core message out there is to normalize how he felt with his father, the abuse he experienced with his father. Valid. But just because you went through something, it doesn't make sense, and it isn't an excuse to pass it on to somebody else. And then there's this movie like Dear Zindagi, which speaks about healing, which speaks about therapy, which speaks about processing emotions, right? So I do believe that movies in general have the power to shape what individuals feel and how they express their emotions and experiences.
Ideology is pathetic, for the lack of a better word. So things like that is not something that I would recommend or learn from.
Now, to dive deeper into the psychological impact of media on young minds, we're bringing in a psychologist from Rocket Health who understands exactly how these on-screen portrayals affect our emotional behavior.
Highly impressionable minds are more susceptible. Actually, it normalizes that, okay, it's okay to be violent, it's okay to be sexist, it's okay to be vulgar. So these are certain concepts that it normalizes, and I don't think, as a society we are evolved enough to kind of differentiate always that, okay, this is what the movie is just showing because it's just a movie. But most people will look at it as like, oh, because they are showing it in a movie, that means this is what happens, and this can happen, and we can also do it.
Beyond romance and the high energy action is a side of cinema that's rarely ever explored. It's the impact of cinema on our mental health, and we have briefly covered that in one of our previous videos, which you can check out right here. When violence and manipulation are repeatedly framed as powerful and desirable, it raises a very important question. How is this shaping the minds of young impressionable viewers?
Depends on the kind of life experiences a person has had in their life. And how impressionable they are to these things. Yeah, definitely if it's like a teenager and they are just, just starting out, they don't really have too much experience in relationships in real life, to them it might be easier to form a schema of, okay, what a relationship should look like. And obviously movies does play a good role. Maybe they do not have such a strong role model in their personal life, or maybe they are using it as a coping mechanism because their personal life may not be that great. They are, you know, hoping it is like some character in the movie.
What movie stereotype about love or life did you have to unlearn?
So movies can be that one place, or series and also can be that one place where you seek that solace and comfort, and you base your life thinking that it is this, right? There is this one series in particular that I used to love, which was Modern Family growing up, right? And I still love it. It is still my comfort show. But the thing is, that idea, it was never my family. So it did get to me. It did make me feel like, is this how family should look like? Is this how my life would have looked like if I was born into a family that was, let's say, maybe looking like this, right? And it took a while to unlearn that that's just a TV show.
Whatever you see in movies, even if it's a good movie, it's a good relationship, what they're showing is also very real, everything. But it does not mimic in your real life. Every person is different, every relationship is different. So you need to, like, just take a step back and know that, okay, this is not how it's gonna be always. It can be different. So I just unlearned that, okay, it can't be defined essentially. While growing up, you think that, okay, this is how relationships are, this is how it goes, this is how marriage is, this is how having kids is, but it's not. So that's what I sort of... I think just growing up, you learn, you go through college, you get into relationships, you understand what different people is different. You find an actual relationship. Even then you realize that, okay, even I'm happy with this person, but that does not mean we are always happy, or we are always there for each other also, for that matter.
Was one person or your partner or somebody you're dating or any relationship cannot be perfect, and there's no way you can change the person. When you watch a Bollywood movie and if the girl is not liking something or if the boy is not liking something, you see that person has quit that altogether and things like that. That doesn't happen in real life. When you start living into each other's spaces, you have to adjust and not eliminate that part or that habit of that person entirely. It doesn't work like that. You have to make effort, you have to make peace with it, accept it, and that's the only way you can move on.
What made you realize this?
Because I'm married. I'm married and very happily married. But I think the happiness comes from the fact that we've learned to accept things, obviously some things the harder way. But we now know and we are mature enough to understand that, this is how it is. And, it's not Bollywood. Everything is not going to change just because you don't like it.
It's clear that movies and TV shows have a lasting impact on how we see the world, ourselves, and even our mental health. The media we consume can shape our emotions and beliefs in powerful ways. And it's up to us to make sure that we're consuming it mindfully.